Ever hear the term, don't poke your head?
Yeah, I think it's important that somebody's here doing this the whole time too. Yeah.
I think that things are easily misconstrued, especially when we've become a system that values money more than anything else. It seems like when I read the paper and when I listen to what people have to say about what is wrong with the situation, there's two things that people say. They say it's ugly, and they like it better when they don't have to look at it. And they say that, God forbid, we have to pay anything to get our rights as Americans back. Because I feel like we're asking for the equality that we've stood for from the very beginning, or we've thought what we were standing for as Americans for the very beginning. So for me, it's about getting our rights back, you know.
I got that from you earlier. And I'm sure you're not going to be the only one that says stand.
I'm sure that I may end up being one of a...
But it looks like most people are just like, all right, we're good.
Most people are leaving. Well, for one thing, I think it's an interesting time period for the holiday. You know, like some people actually value this holiday and want to have it in peace. Like I look forward to the possibility of missing Christmas with my kids over this. You know, that's how important it is to me to stand up for our rights as Americans, to say we're really being peaceful. The things that shut us down were not about a lack of peace that doesn't occur in the community every day.
Well, as long as you don't end up hitting the cop, you're not going to miss Christmas with the kids.
Well, from what I hear, this could last until the 26th. But I feel like I shouldn't leave, because if I leave, I might miss the part that I want to document, which is when the police come in and say, guess what, you don't have the right to be in a public park protesting for your constitutional freedoms. My personal opinion is like a public park is the one place in the city, like where are we supposed to protest for our constitutional freedoms if it's not in a public park? And we're not in a public park that's in the rich side of town that really is bothering anybody. We're actually in a public park where almost every neighbor here believes in what we're here for. Because we've got petitions that have tons of Whitaker folks on. Yeah. And we're in a public park that was not used for anything but the same homeless issues and drugs and crime has always been what this park has been about. I know, because I quit taking my kids to this park a long time ago. You know, and what I hear from people is that they come into this park more now than ever before. There's people that would never have come into this park until Occupy came here, because it does represent what we are standing for. You know, there may be the homeless community who came out in force, and not just because they're homeless, by the way. A lot of them came out because they believe they're being oppressed, and it's the truth. It's the truth. When you are criminalized for being homeless, and then because of your criminal record, you can't get a job or you can't even get a home now. You can't even get a home with a record. I mean, you can't get a home without a record of having money to pay like clockwork every single month. When you go to apply to the next place, they say, oh, did you have plenty of money, or did you ever struggle? Because if you struggled, you don't deserve to have a home.
Thank you for picking it up off the ground so I can find it, you know?
No, basically you're right. I mean, I know what you're saying.
I mean,
right.
We're not talking about, it's like everybody gets stuck on the rules that got us here, and it's like this little rule is important and that little rule is important, but there's this fundamental thing that's being lost, which is the moral background of the rules. Like, you can't single out the rules and say they're the most important if the end result, the reality of it, makes absolutely no sense and doesn't work for human beings in general. Right? I mean, because we're like, well, we need to have rules for how we house people, and we need to have rules for how we give people jobs, and we have to have rules for how you're allowed to use your public park. And, you know, But the truth is that if the Constitution of the United States falls apart while we're supporting all these little rules, then we've lost the meaning of it all. There's no point to all those little rules anymore if the Constitution and the real things that make Americans free is lost in the process.
Do you need to, or do you care to go, do whatever this, what do they call it? Passive resistance training they're doing today?
I am intending to go to the passive resistance training because I think I need to know how not to make it so that I can never get a job or leave this country again. Like, I hear that things that could happen because I believe in standing up for my American freedoms could make it so that I'm the next one on the criminals list. I'm the next one who can't get a home. I'm the next one who can't get a job, because I had the nerve to care enough about my country to want to come out here and do something about what's wrong. How can that be right? How can that be okay? What justice is that? And if you support laws that don't create justice, then I don't believe in your laws anymore.
Well, I guess we'll see you down there later. Thank you, James.